Okay, we're back to this. So as I mentioned the other day, we're gonna try and focus on getting battle advantages to work. I went ahead, went on to Jan Visustella's site, got the commands and prompts copied down. So like some of the main things to know is that this check event facing, those are going to be for the conditions. These will set what kind of battle we need. The two main ones in particular, preemptive and surprise, and then this just resets it to no advantage. There is also the chance, which will do either one, but I'm not going to do that because that's more for a Final Fantasy thing than what Tails goes for. And because this would be the map we normally do this, I should probably get myself situated, and yeah, I need to actually get to this. Or close enough. Because that'll be our little guinea pig. No, I don't want to play. Alright. So, one of the note tags we can use for this involves encounter direction lock. So basically, when the encounter happens, if this is not on, then this will cause it to look in the direction that... Like basically when you trigger the event, it'll still be facing that direction, and then we can act accordingly. Because what I want to do... It'll basically do like a common event thing, and just check if the event is facing the player or not, and then apply accordingly. And yeah, I put this in like the scrolling text thing to make it easier on myself. So all this really does is just determine various stuff. And I could just do this. Check through each one, and then if it... until it hits it, until it fulfills the condition and then goes to end. So if it's facing front, we can simply set it as such. So no advantage, nothing. And then this is if it's facing the back, it's best used for a surprise attack. That's... so yeah, if the event is the other way around, we get turn advantage. And I've also set it up where this will always set the queue to no advantage, because that's always like the last thing to happen for an event. So let's go ahead and give it a try. Oh, except we also gotta add the common event to this event. Alright, come here, little bunny. Or just do this. Alright, got the advantage. So... Alright. Your turn. Come on. Come on. Alright, give me. Alright, that worked. Alright. So I think what we can also do is, to make it easier on ourselves... Oh, you know, actually, there is one other thing we need to confirm. Does the turn 0 thing kick in? So let's get rid of this. That's for Barb Rabbit, Cave Bat. Because then we can cause like a little delay in when the thing happens, to which that was the side, not my back, you fools. Come from my back. There. Okay, it worked. Alright, so we know now that this will always prompt. Which means we can now make it so that the switch is turned on. Well, of course, it'll turn off at the end of battle anyway, but for preemptive and the surprise, those get switches. Oh, wait. Should probably be the last thing that happens. Well, except these tags are for, like, the picnic basket. I'll do that. And actually, there is another thing I want to try with the preemptive stuff. And that's for, like, the side event. Well, either way, these switches get turned off. 306 to 307. Actually, we can also do the preemptive thing for if you do it on the side, but something I do want to do is come up with like passive skills, or maybe just make it a natural feature, where if you end up hitting them from behind, they basically take damage. It's kind of like how it is in Vesperia, where doing it from the back or the side will do some kind of damage to them. But I think for this kind of game, that should be something for skills. Because otherwise that would be a bit too cheap. So let's add one more. Of course, this can only really apply if... No, I'll just keep it as is. Oh, no. No, 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 no. It has to be this. It can be its own separate thing. And then, of course, I feel like it should be part of its own common event. Make it even easier. Or wait. Which was it? One of these. Okay, here we go. Oh, but it's on the map. Okay, yeah, I have to actually add them to every single... Well, either way, we'll still make it a common event. That... If I do it that way, then it'll be a lot easier to just go through everything. Put all that in a common event. battle advantage unlocked. Because if that's active, because again, this will be something I'll have to introduce later, then it'll start checking to see how everything is. If it's on the side, you get advantage, but you also do, and then if a certain skill is on, you might get a little bit of something. Let's just test it out first. Side. That didn't do any. Oh wait, it did, but I think it needed to last a little bit longer. Yeah, 60 seconds is not enough. It should be 2. A little bit longer. Oh, but I also need to actually turn on the thing. Because this is still technically on. Well, I don't know why it's... Oh, duh. That's why. I need to also put this in one of these. You out. That's what was missing. Okay, yeah, now it works. So I'm wondering what I should actually put in as like a normal incentive to do the surprise attacks, besides getting turn advantage. Because without skills, you should still get something. So I'm... okay, let's see how this works. Okay, so I'm thinking... Let's rename this to Backstrike. Because both of these are preemptives, and it's more distinguishable. This to 60. I know, I need to check for the... That actually work. But let me double check. Okay, I might just have to be... Is so-and-so in party? I feel like this has not been used. Okay, seriously, I could have sworn I added something for... Yeah, here we go. Yes, this is a fan game I've been working on. I'm currently trying to do preemptive battle strike stuff. It's a fan game for the Tales series. If you ever played any of the Tales of games, it's basically modeled after it. You ever hear of Tales of Symphonia? Tales of Vesperia? They're a series of JRPGs, essentially. This is being done through the power of RPG Maker. Alright, that worked. Alright, so I got that to work. And then what I'd like to do now is find some way to do like a party hit of everything. What would be the best way to do it, though? mean, it's a lot of work, but worth it. Should probably put this. Well, I mean, if you'd like, you can, if you want to link any of your works, I can always check it out later. I see. Alright, how do I do this? Should be I think? Yep, MHP. Don't get back here. Because it's gonna have to be one of those where it's a I'll put it in there. Really all that's going to happen is it does the animation and the damage. Then some up here. It should be forced action. Yeah, except... Yeah. Makes it easy to do stuff, but it can get a little bit... Oh, shoot. Okay, just for this, I'm gonna just have Aki be the one to initiate it. I'm gonna have to look into, like, the scripts to see if I can determine... Basically have it so whoever is just up front, they can do it, but it doesn't really matter. This will be tricky, but I do want to, like, just get this out of the way. It's gonna be a while before this is properly introduced, but I felt like this would be fun to do on a stream. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh, right, I didn't... They don't have the animation yet. Okay, that's what we needed to do. They're kind of like regular events, but these are ones that you can call anytime, and, like, it helps consolidate them. Like, if you're gonna use it many times over, just put them in here, and then, like, use... Like, use the common event trigger. And it'll play the event. You can even do this while in the middle of an event. It'll play out whatever is in the queue, and then it'll continue the rest of the event. It can be very helpful. Okay, that didn't even work. Oh, and I know why, because I didn't put in the actual animation. Action animation. That's what we need. We're almost there. And again, something I'll be doing later is having actual prompts or indicators to let you know when something goes, when you enter either of them. Make it more presentable. Oops, wrong way. That still didn't work. What the heck? Or maybe I have to actually... Maybe I have to use show animation. Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, you can do anything. You can use it to, like, check positioning, and then you can also... I'll show some examples in a bit. Just let me get this to work, at least. Because depending on plugins, or if you don't even need plugins, depending on what you're going for, you can do anything with them. Here we go again. Let's adjust the timing of that. 15. Health bar. That, cut in half. So yeah, in Zillia, whenever you go for a back attack, that's actually a sneak attack. Like, they can't even be aware of your existence. Then you basically cut their HP in half. Otherwise, it'd be like a quarter of it. Excuse me. Oop, wrong one. And these will mainly be preserved for actual abilities. Or special skill, passive skills. That's fair. I know it said something about being able to change what text you get. Alright, and that's 25%. This will be the last thing before I start showing examples of common events. I know you should be able to change the text. And it doesn't seem like I can. I'll probably have to look up exactly how to change that later. Unless it's in here. The battle core. Or wait, the battle log should be updated now. Nope, I don't have it in. That's battle AI. Okay, seriously? Oh, it's combat log. And I don't have it in there yet. Let's take a look. Okay, now I know why I don't have this, because not really useful. Oh, here we go. This is probably what it was. Okay, something has to affect the other thing. Just I'll have to find it later. Let's just go ahead and look at some common events. Alright, so one of the earliest ones I've done for like common events is just the wind stick. Where that's the ice pop. Basically, it would call this to check and see if you either get the wind stick or the loose stick. So that would play every time you actually use it. I'm considering not including this, but it was just like one of the earliest things I tested. But like here you have something where you can use some basic math or like determine what the current health is for certain stuff. Oh, that's where it is. Another thing I did was like include like the mats from Vesperia, which now that I'm considering adding a world map to the game, which will be after Cambio is all done, I can actually implement this. And then these just determine, they pick up the HP and max TP for stuff, for characters. Like, if you're gonna use an item in battle, you can also, like, have these call out and determine what happens. And a lot of it is thanks to the battle core, I believe, or it might be the core in general that allows for, like, custom action sequences. So instead of, like, how it normally plays whenever you use an item or skill, it goes into your common events, if you have one, and plays out accordingly. Now, the reason I have all this, one of the plugins allows for, like, common event menus. And so, depending on how far along... It's for the picnic basket, which is like the food sack from Destiny. You can equip, like, various food items to different slots. And the reason I have duplicates is because the basket grows in slot number, which means I have to account for when that happens. This would actually display it, and as long as these switches are active, that's what it ends up becoming. And also each of these is like an option, and you can do stuff with it. These would have been a lot longer per item, but then I found a way to consolidate it. Like up here, the variable, it checks each variable to make sure that the name of that is input is there. Normally they'd be empty, but then if there's nothing, you can put in this. Ooh, thank you, Ragnarok Aesthetic and Party. Welcome. I had just gotten done with doing the battle advantage. I will show that off really quick. Oh. Let's see. Who just followed? You followed. Thank you. The activity feed didn't update, that's all. Hello, Junrico. Oh, gotta mute. Alright, now I have to actually see what that just did. That should not affect things. Oh, yep, okay. So because I forced an action, that basically means that it skips out. So I have to figure out a different method for what I'm trying to do. Because basically, depending on how you approach an enemy, and later if you have a skill equipped, you get benefits. The natural one would be you get some over limit points. But then if you have certain skills equipped, well okay, let me try that again. You get over limit points no matter what. And if it's a pre-advantage, then you get an extra turn to attack. If you have certain skills equipped, you would be able to do some damage. So I'm trying to figure that out. Because clearly if I have to force action it, then that means you lose out on the turn. So let's get rid of that for now and make sure that it's actually working as intended. Because it was earlier. Side and back do pre-advantage. Yep. So now it's a matter of figuring out how I can inflict the damage and make it seem like they're actually being hit. Because I could always just do a call like normal. Advantage strike. Let's look through here and see if I can... Okay, here we go. Yeah, you can do a lot with common events. It's fun. So I'm trying to see if I can force the damage to happen. Emulate attack effect. Okay, here we go. So I'm wondering if that actually is what I need to do. Yeah, that can happen. For me, it usually goes by pretty quickly. Get over here. Alright, let's see what happens. Oh! Except it hit me too. But I also needed to see... Oh! I see. Let's remove this and see if it works still. Alright, try again. Now let's make sure that I don't... Okay, that worked! One sec. I want to have a visual aid for this. Like this. These I modified from my own... Well, I had to, like... You know how it is. I can modify pre-existing stuff and then gradually morph them into something original. Art assets are from various commissions I was able to get. These are also commissioned by various artists. Found like a very nice sprite artist who was able to do like, who's done like work for, they've done a lot of fan stuff, which is nice. So I basically had them base the, sorry, I'm not good with speaking. Like, they kind of resemble how characters would look in the Tales of Phantasia X version, which was on the PS Vita? No, PSP. And then these, of course, are pre-used from some of the PS2 Tales games. It is a fan project, so I'm basically just working with what I'm able to get. I'm not made of money, so as much as I would like to just have 100% original stuff, it's realistically not possible. Oh, and nice, they actually fixed it. So one of the fixes they did for a plugin is with the names. They normally show up like this, which is what I want. But then for whatever reason, they still show up when you're attacking. See, I like to say this is the most effort I ever put into a fan game, or into a game at all. Because, like, stuff like this, and yet it's still plug-in stuff. But, like, all these maps, all these events, I've never done that much in a game before. It feels very complicated, especially since I have to work with stuff like this. And I mean, it's something I want to see to the end this time. Before I ended up just dropping off without actually getting far. But no, I put too much into this, so I'm committing. And it is a learning experience. I mean, just the fact that I learned about this means that I can basically fix some moves now. Because instead of having to force actions, I can actually just have it be emulated. And it'll be good being able to do this more often in the new year. I normally do like video reviews on stuff a lot of the time, but I'm going to be like dropping off of that starting in January. I want to actually commit to this more, do a lot more. Like this year alone, I was able to get a demo out that was able to do everything that's in this particular set of files. Like I had a forest, a ruin dungeon, and then as like a little bonus thing, the train sequence. And then throughout the year... How come what exactly? So yeah, in this year I was able to actually complete the train that I started a little bit last year. I was able to get a map started here. I have a lot of placeholders because I do want to like add in some some unique sprites that aren't just the same placeholders that I had before. And also in the same year, I was able to create this whole nature trail. If only I could figure out what's causing a bit of lag here. It's only on like this big map and one other area. Supposedly it's due to having too many events. I could try to like reduce. I just need to figure out what it is I can do. Because it's not parallel events. Right now, I'm trying to get the nature trail stuff done before the end of the year. So right now, this is the current story I'm doing. I've done video reviews before I've done this. It's just like in the last few years, I started gaining an interest in RPG Maker again. And like, I was just fiddling around with it. I didn't think I could actually do much. And then I started commissioning art for characters that I just was interested in. And then just gradually it started to click. Like, I wish I could show you some early builds. But like, let's just pull up a battle. Alright, so before I didn't have the grid. I'd basically have it where I had to adjust the characters so that first player is here, then second, third, fourth. Try to simulate like the linear motion battle system, even though you're still doing like this turn-based stuff. There was like an action plugin for MV, but that was too complicated. Enemy sprites were also something I had limited access to, because before there were hardly any that were ripped. I had to like actually go into the game and try to get them one frame at a time, which was like an extreme hassle and very difficult to do. And then last year, I think it was last year, I was like on vacation. Life Bottle Productions, while they were working on like their efforts to translate some of the PS2 games, they found a way to actually rip the assets. So it was really nice. And now that I have like a whole bunch of resources now, I can actually take these, put them on the Dragon Bones, which is an animation program for stuff like this. So I don't have to worry about enemy selection. I can just take from what I have. Though I do plan to like commission original enemy assets, but they'll be like after characters are done. But anyway, even then, it wasn't like this where characters move and fluently. I had it so that every attack animation was its own separate. Was like its own separate animation. It did use the action sequences, but it would have it where characters disappear and then they do their attack. First it was through there, then I tried doing it with effects here, which is where a lot of the default animations for MZ tend to be like that. And that. Not that though. Yeah, MZ does allow for like the use of MV style animations, which I do sometimes use. But knowing that, it's like, it didn't look very fluid, it didn't seem like it would really work that well, but I had to make do. Then I started to learn that Dragon Bones does actually, before I get into that, I need to actually show an example. I mean, it still made use of like common events. It checks for like what skill you use, and then checks the variables. What I didn't realize at the time was that you aren't limited to just the default motions. Because like with MZ and MV, there's like side view animations that get called depending on which motion you use. And I thought that still applied to the Dragon Bone stuff. But then I learned that you can actually go beyond that. You can name anything, use any motion name, and as long as it matches what's in Dragon Bones in their files, they'll play it. So then it took me a while to like actually convert all the attack animations into Dragon Bones so that it actually feels more smooth, more... I don't know the word. But ultimately speaking, it was no longer a case for characters just disappeared, reappeared, and all that. No, it's just like one motion. And then, of course, the grid came along, and that expanded my options. Because with the grid, you could actually move around. Every character and enemy would be bound to a spot. You can move, you can actually position yourself. So that felt a little bit more closer to how the series would turn out. Okay, why didn't that work? And it actually kind of reminds me of Tempest a little, because they had the 3-line system. Oh, I know why. Okay, first I need to pull up the... Why does it keep doing that? Need this. And then do this. But yeah, Tempest had 3 lines of movement, which was kind of like that. Kind of like Rebirth's 2-way system. Oh, did I just not screw it? But either way, it's still linear based in a way. And you can do a bunch of stuff with it. Like various AoE attacks that are node based. And this even determines it. So it was no longer just a matter of having like up to 3 enemies, actually 3 to 4. Like you could actually do stuff with it. Oh, the lag. I gotta figure this one out. Because that is gonna be really annoying later. And then I also figured out how to do, like, input-based abilities, conditions, rather. So you can do stuff like this. So it feels a little more closer to like the other games. You're doing more. And it's fun learning about this sort of stuff, what you can do with the engine. Learn my limitations and work with them from there. Okay, why is it severely lagging? It was never like this before. Oh my word. Well, that's gonna be my next thing to look into. Figuring out why it's so laggy now. That's the thing. I don't know what it is. I looked. And like the only thing, like, there's this. I always make sure they have at least one frame active, and this one only plays when this is on. Same with this. There is an erase event for a lot of them, and even then it still doesn't seem to do that too. But also, some of these I need to have in order to actually use. This one, it only occurs like... It's like an off and on thing. You would think, like, they shouldn't do anything, because they technically don't exist. And this gets turned off right away. This is an auto event, and I have a lot of variables to make sure that things are only active when they're actually turned on. The closest thing I would guess is causing something would be this, but even then it's like, that shouldn't be it. Like, watch, I'll even remove this one for a brief bit. For all I know, it could be one of the freaking plugins. Yeah, see? There's still a bit of lag. Encryptorator 3000. And then this was just the first story cutscene for this area. Again, it only exists once. So, it might be something. I would have to actually... What I think I could do is just take the map itself, erase every event on it. Like, I can just make a copy. Go through everything and see if it's the map itself or if there's some event somewhere hidden. Well, first, to make sure I don't confuse it, copy map. And I made a backup just in case, because there were plugin updates today, so that way I can test them as needed. Like, more than anything, I need to confirm if it's just a map issue or if it is just an abundance of events. Because I hear, like, if you have too many events, it could cause something to happen. But I know, like, in one of the early builds I had, another map, which was, like, the main lobby for the ruins, it's not even as big as this, and yet it still lags a little bit before it clears out. So let's see. Okay, so we can rule out that it's not a map issue because it runs perfectly. Meaning something, it's either one of the running events or I just have too many and I have to find a way to consolidate. If I can do that, then maybe I have a chance to cut down on the lag. And believe me, it wasn't even nearly as bad as I had it earlier. Like, it slugged a little bit, but then I guess with the current update, it just did something. But that's for me to figure out another time. Right now, I need to get ready for a podcast. So, thank you all for coming and sticking around. I might do another week of this, if only just to see if... I might do another week of this. I don't know. We'll see. I hope to see you next time. You all take care.